everybody, thanks for joining us. Universal just released the biggest update on Epic Universe since the park was first announced way back in 2019. In this video, I am going to break down everything that is now confirmed and some speculation still on everything that is going to be in Epic Universe, and I'm going to show you why this park is going to change everything. Epic Universe is the brand new Universal park that is going to be opening in Orlando. I think most people know this, but we'll go through a little bit of the background just in case, and some things have changed. First of all, it was originally announced to be opening in summer of 2025, but I've noticed that all the newest videos, all the newest information that's coming out from Universal now says 2025. It no longer says summer, which could mean that it actually is going to be delayed, or they don't really know when it's going to come out, just sometime in 2025. But as I said at the beginning, there is a brand new update. They've just dropped all sorts of new information, and they've made so many confirmations on all the things that we've been speculating for months and months and months. And so I want to break down all the new videos, all the new content that's been released. There is so much, and I could not be more excited. So just a little bit of background, and then we'll jump straight into the new content for Epic Universe. Epic Universe will be the third gate for Universal. We've got Universal Studios, which is Gate 1, then Islands of Adventure, which was Gate 2, and now Epic Universe is Gate 3. In Disney terms, they talk about how we have 4 gates at Disney. You've got Magic Kingdom, Epcot, Hollywood Studios, and of course, Animal Kingdom. And so this is going to be the third gate, and the big deal here is that it's going to transform Universal from being a weekend park to being a week-long park. And that's been the biggest thing that's held Universal back from Disney. A lot of the competition with Disney, people look at it as a week to 2 week long vacation and maybe just a weekend at Universal. Epic Universe is going to make it a whole week-long experience, but it is so much more than that, and I want to talk through why. It is not just about opening this new theme park. The location of Epic Universe is actually a couple of miles off property where current Universal and Islands of Adventure are. Now that seems like kind of a drag, because it seems like going between the two properties, going on and off property, can be kind of annoying. But it's actually going to be really simple. They've actually extended Kirkman Road. They're building it right now. I drive by it all of the time, and it's going to give really quick direct access between the two locations, and they'll have buses between Universal and Epic going back and forth, and it's only a couple of minutes away. And it is going to be worth going between the two properties because, again, Epic Universe is almost its entirely new area unto itself. It's not just like opening Universal Studios and then adding Islands of Adventure. It's its own thing altogether. So let's talk a little bit about how big this is going to be. If you look at Universal today, the entire property, Universal Studios, Islands of Adventure, City Walk, the parking garages, Volcano Bay, the 8 hotels, everything that Universal right now is 735 acres. The new property that they are holding aside for Epic Universe and building on is 750 acres. This is basically doubling the size of Universal. This 750 acres of space is for 1 to 2 parks. We'll talk about that in a little bit. Potentially an additional City Walk, and 6 additional hotels, as well as, which is one of the biggest things, is the massive back of the house area that they are creating. And why that's important, we'll talk about in just a little bit. All right, let's talk about the new stuff. All this new information is coming to light, and I am so glad because it's actually confirming all the things we've been speculating. So first things first, there was a brand new video that's been dropped, brand new content on the website. And one of the very first things that I noticed right out of the gate is how they're calling themselves Universal Destinations and Experiences. They used to be Universal Parks and Resorts, and they actually made that rebrand change in March of 2023. And I'm seeing they're continuing to carry that forward. They say that this rebrand really better reflects all the different offerings that they have at Universal, which I think is great because, again, it's just expanding Universal all the time, and they're really becoming a huge contender to Disney and all the services that Disney has. So Epic Universe is going to be broken into 5 key lands. The very first land, the main entrance, which is great because you can actually see all the visuals of the entrance and what it's going to look like, and there's all these sort of like cone-shaped portals that are going to transport you to the different lands, including the entrance into Epic Universe, which the entrance in the entire area there is called Celestial Park. And they're really saying they're bringing the park back into theme parks, which I think is great. So there's a lot of like trees and shrubbery and visuals and water and things like that to make it really feel like a park and not just a theme park or amusement park. So I really think that's really cool. And there's going to be a few attractions that are now confirmed in this space. The marquee attraction for Celestial Park is called Starfall Racers, which is a dueling coaster similar back to Dueling Dragons. It's kind of a spiritual successor, if you will, of Dueling Dragons. So I'm really excited about this one. This roller coaster is supposed to blaze you across the celestial skies and hurl you across the cosmos. It has this giant comet sort of like layout and effect to it. If you see it, it's really cool. It's gonna go 62 miles an hour, 133 feet high, and about 5,000 feet in length, which is enormous and awesome all at the same time. Just for a comparison point, Velocicoaster goes 70 miles an hour, gets up to 155 feet high, and goes 4,700 feet in length. So it is almost on par with Velocicoaster, which has been winning all sorts of awards. It also, both coasters have some inversions and things, so it's going to be somewhat similar to Velocicoaster, just maybe a little bit less intense, but considering Velocicoaster is probably one of the most intense roller coasters on the planet, I think that's probably okay, because this will be a coaster a lot of people are going to want to ride. So it's very exciting to me. What's really interesting is it says it has no external lighting on the tracks or the cars for the actual ride, that the actual ride vehicles themselves will light up, and it will look and sort of give this effect that there are comets flying through the sky in Celestial Park to sort of bring that comet starfall theme to full fruition. I think that's going to be really cool to see in the background when you're kind of walking through Celestial Park and see these like comet-like things streaking across the sky. It's actually really cool, and again, just an indicator of how Epic Universe and Universal continue to think about the entire visage, the entire landscape, and everything that you're going to see, and create these worlds that feel self-contained instead of just areas that have sort of feel bolted on, or having these big buildings and structures that just kind of take you out of the immersion. That's one of the things that Disney was really good about in the past, was not breaking the immersion. And they've just kind of gotten away from that, if I'll be totally transparent. I still love Disney, but they're really starting to break the immersion. They're not really thinking through all the changes that they're making. And so I love the way Universal is approaching Epic Universe. They started it with Islands of Adventure, with these sort of like self-contained lands, and now they're really just taking it to another level. The other attraction now in Celestial Park that's confirmed is the Constellation Carousel, which is going to be lots of different creatures, bears and dragons and things that you can ride on, sort of a typical carousel, but the roof of the actual carousel is going to be all brightly lit and stars and things like that, which I think is going to be really cool. But sort of another attraction just in that center area, which sounds really neat to me. Again, trying to find opportunities for the entire family to enjoy their trip. One of the things that you can say that's a negative or a downside for Universal as opposed to Disney is there's not a ton of kid-friendly options and attractions, especially for the younger kids. And so Epic Universe, they're really trying to bring more of those kid-friendly attractions into their theme park, and not just the sort of crazy, hyperspace coasters and wild rides that maybe only adults or the older kids would be interested in. So I think it's a good move. They're also trying to beef up some of those things in the existing parks, but again, just adding more here at Epic Universe. We've also got 2 new confirmed restaurants at Celestial Park and 1 store, and then there's still some speculation around some additional quick service and restaurants there, but I'm just going to go through the confirmed ones at this point. The first one is Atlantic. The Atlantic restaurant is a steak and a seafood restaurant, and it says it's under the sea. You can see the visuals of it. It kind of seems not really under the sea. It just kind of seems like a structure on top of some water. But I think with above it and at the top of it, you can sort of see like aquariums and things all built and wrapped around it, which I think is going to be really cool. So it's going to feel like you're kind of under the sea. It's exciting against steak and seafood. I feel like this is going to be one of the marquee, a little bit more expensive restaurants, probably hard to get reservations into with within Celestial Park at Epic Universe, but it sounds really good. It sounds exciting. The other restaurant is the Blue Dragon Pan-Asian restaurant, which also includes something called the Tiger Bar. This particular, again, Pan-Asian cuisine you can expect, but the really interesting thing about this is it says it's always nighttime. It's always under the cover of dark, and so when you go into the actual restaurant, we can assume it's going to be very dimly lit, and there's going to be all these lanterns and things that sort of bring brightness into the actual atmosphere. Sounds really neat to me. There's an area called the Tiger Bar where you can get drinks and things like that, which actually looks really cool. If you're into alcoholic beverages, it says you need to be, of course, 21 years or older to consume alcoholic beverages. But I think that's sort of like a 2-for-1 there. You get the restaurant and the Tiger Bar, which sounds really neat. It also says that the Tiger Bar is going to have signage that has a bunch of Easter eggs around Celestial Park. So I don't know what Easter eggs there are, but it sounds really cool. And the last thing that's been confirmed in Celestial Park is the Nintendo Superstar Store, which is basically going to be all things Nintendo, Super Nintendo World. It is actually right outside of Super Nintendo World, the portal. It's going to be right outside of it in Celestial Park, where you can actually buy all the different merch and things for Nintendo. So just imagine a Nintendo Superstore there. The very first land you're going to come to on the left when you enter Celestial Park is going to be Super Nintendo World. There's a lot of information about Super Nintendo World. They've already created one over in Universal Hollywood, but we're expecting to see 3 primary attractions in that space. There's going to be the Donkey Kong Kart ride, which basically simulates like Donkey Kong. If you ever played Donkey Kong Country back in the day when you got in a cart and it would jump off the track, it's going to be the same kind of simulation, this innovative ride experience where you feel like the cart is jumping off the track. It looks really, really cool. There's also going to be the Mario Kart racing attraction. It's a dark ride. It's got some VR or sort of like AR, augmented reality stuff to it. It's really cool. You can already actually ride it at Universal, but it's going to be new for Epic Universe, so I'm excited about that. And then there's also the Yoshi ride, the Yoshi Island ride. This is more of a family ride attraction, just kind of like a go-through people mover or Omni Mover type ride that you would find at like a Disney World, for example, like the Haunted Mansion. So 3 primary attractions there. Themed overall, sort of the Mushroom Kingdom, which is really cool. And there's expected to be a couple of quick service options in there as well. Now the next one, big change, has been called Universal Monsters area, is actually going to be called Dark Universe. So that's officially confirmed. Dark Universe. You're going to be entering into the village of Darkmoor, and there are going to be 2 primary attractions in the Dark Universe so far. One is Monsters Unchained, the Frankenstein experiment, which is going to be this really cool, innovative dark ride experience. I'm expecting something probably similar to the Wizarding World of Harry Potter. If you've ever been on Forbidden Journey, something similar to that probably is what that ride's going to be. Still TBD. There's a lot of speculation around it, but it is speculated to be called Monsters Unchained, the Frankenstein experience. And you can see that in some of the illustrations and things that have come through in the videos and the content. You can see Frankenstein, so it is going to be probably themed around that. The second attraction is the Curse of the Werewolf, which looks to be some sort of spinning roller coaster ride. I'm thinking it's going to be something similar to Guardians of the Galaxy Cosmic Rewind at Epcot, if you've ever ridden that, with sort of this spinning roller coaster ride vehicles. It's going to be a lot of outdoors, but it still sounds like it's going to be some sort of spinning thing, so it looks really interesting. Curse of the Werewolf. There's also likely to be some sort of show at the theater there and a couple of quick service options. Now let's move on to How to Train Your Dragon, officially now known as How to Train Your Dragon Isle of Berk. If you know anything about How to Train Your Dragon, you'll remember that the village in the movies was actually called Berk. It's the Viking village, so that's basically going to be the theme, the island village of the Vikings. That's going to be the theme of that particular area. There's a few attractions in this space. The one is obviously the big dragon coaster. It's supposed to be really big and long. Not a lot of information yet, a lot of speculation still, no confirmed name yet for that roller coaster, but it is going to be really cool. You're supposed to be kind of flying like on a dragon throughout the park, overhead of the park, of the aisle, so it sounds really awesome. There's also going to be some sort of boat ride, some sort of water or boat ride that is tentatively being called Fire Drill, F-Y-R-E, Fire Drill. Again, speculation, but we're pretty sure that's probably going to be what it's called. Then you've got the dual Sky Flyers there, which is kind of like a fun, easy going ride. It does a little sort of like spinning and flying. that you would maybe see at some carnivals or amusement parks. And then there's going to be a stage show, which we're tentatively referring to as the Untrainable Dragon, some sort of like puppetry. I'm assuming some large dragon stuff. There has been How to Train Your Dragon shows before on stage, and so I'm expecting a lot of the same things, called Untrainable Dragon. Again, speculation at this point, but again, looking at trademarks and patents and things like that that have sort of been filing out over the past year, we're starting to get some good information on what these things might be called. And that brings us to the Wizarding World of Harry Potter expansion. It has finally been confirmed. It is an expansion to the Wizarding World of Harry Potter. It is not just a Fantastic Beasts add-on. It is going to be the Wizarding World of Harry Potter Ministry of Magic. So it's going to have both 1920s Paris and 1990s British Ministry of Magic as part of that space and part of that land. So you're going to get a little bit of things from Fantastic Beasts, a little bit of things from the Harry Potter collection. I'm excited about this. The ride itself, almost nothing is known about this ride. They are really keeping it tight-lipped. They're not saying much about it, but supposedly it is going to be completely groundbreaking and one of the greatest things ever made. I don't know if it will be, but it sounds awesome. It's going to be in the Ministry of Magic. Speculated that the attraction is going to be titled Harry Potter and the Battle at the Ministry. It sounds really cool. I've always wanted to visit the Ministry of Magic. It just looks so cool from the movies. There's so many things that happen that are iconic in those movies in that place. So I'm really hoping it comes through. I have a feeling it's going to be awesome. The last thing in the Wizarding World is going to be a theater show speculated, tentatively named Les Circue Arcanus. So some sort of magic circus, Circue Arcanus, magic circus. I'm excited to see what that is. Again, it could change, name could change, but that's what we're seeing so far. So I'm pumped about this. Could be a cool theater show. I feel like we need more shows at Universal. I love shows. I think they just add another level of the immersion. It allows you to get out of the lines and the queues for waiting for long lines at roller coasters. Just kind of sit down, chill, watch a show. Some of them indoor, some of them at outdoor theaters. I just feel like it needs more of that. And that brings us to the hotels that are now confirmed. Again, we have spaces for 6 hotels. If you look on the map, there are 6 plots of land specifically set aside for hotel space. We've got 3 currently confirmed hotels. Let's talk about the first one, Helios Grand Hotel, which is actually going to be part of the Celestial Park. It is going to be right there, front and center. It's going to be part of the visage, part of the immersion, and it's going to be, I feel like, a resort that's unlike any other theme park. Being able to actually like see the park from your hotel window, leave your hotel and walk straight into the park. I think it's going to be so cool. I have a feeling it's going to be pretty expensive. Prices haven't been released yet, no availability yet for that, but it says it's going to have an elegant Mediterranean feel to the hotel. It's also lots of celestial themes, stars, and things like that. This is going to be the marquee hotel. I'm kind of saying this is like the contemporary hotel or the Grand Floridian back when Magic Kingdom first was created and built. Like that was the go-to hotel on the monorail loop. I feel like this is going to be the go-to hotel for Epic Universe. But there are 2 additional hotels that are already available for booking. They're opening up near Epic Universe timeframe, and you can already book them right now. You can check it out. You can check out the pricing. These are going to be your more affordable hotel options, kind of like your Endless Summer Dockside and Surfside hotels, sort of like dual hotels right across from each other, kind of mirrored. They look really neat. They've got all these like colored tiles that sort of reflect the light on them. I can actually drive by them all the time. I can see them. They look really, really neat. And this is going to be your Stella Nova and your Terra Luna hotels. Now, visually, there is not a lot of difference between the 2, just like there's not much difference in the Endless Summer hotels. Stella Nova says it's inspired by the infinite vastness of the unknown universe, where galaxies spiral ever outward and unknown worlds revolve around unnamed stars. Whereas the Terra Luna Hotel says it is inspired by the thrill of exploring the unknown, pushing the limits of discovery, and stepping into new landscapes. So they have slightly different but related themes to them, all star related. I feel like if you look at the rooms, they're very similar, just slightly different colors, but overall pretty much the same experience at either hotel. I'm going to assume the prices are going to be about the same. So those are the big confirmed now information about Epic Universe, but let's talk about some of the additional speculation you're going to want to know about, such as the 4th gate. We just talked about how Epic Universe is the 3rd gate, but there is actually space, and they are holding it aside for a potential 4th gate, a 4th park. An Epic Universe Part 2, if you will, and there is so much space held aside in that 750 acres for that plot, for that park. It is very real possibility there will be a complete 2nd park being opened in the next 5 years or so. I'm really excited to see where that goes. And then, which also means there's a little bit of speculation there could be a city walk added. So if you know the history of Universal Studios, it was created, and then when they went to create Islands of Adventure, they created a city walk that bridged the two together. They also built the parking garages. There used to just be surface parking at Universal Studios, but that's when they built the parking structures. So far, we're under the understanding they're only going to have surface parking at Epic Universe, which is kind of unfortunate. I was really hoping for another really cool parking garage. This took you straight into Epic Universe, but I think it's going to end up being surface lots, and that they're going to add the parking structure, maybe some sort of garage like they have over at Universal. When the 2nd phase of Epic Universe, when a new 4th park potentially opens, they may actually add a parking structure and a city walk. For now, we just don't know. We know there's space for it. We know it's sort of laid out that way to make it happen. We just don't know when or if. Now let's talk about the most exciting thing about Epic Universe that not really too many people talk about, and that is the back of the house operations. If you look on the map, there is a massive amount of space held aside for back of the house operations, and I drive by it all the time. There are huge, and I mean huge, enormous buildings being constructed in this back of the house space, and that is important for 2 big reasons. One, it makes operations at Epic Universe flow smoothly, it makes everything go great, and it hides all the back of the house stuff in the back of the house. It doesn't break the immersion. It makes it really simple for them to get around between Epic and I think where the new city walk and a new gate will be. The second big thing about that is that it will actually allow Universal to move some of their back of the house operations from the existing 735 acres over at Universal Studios and Islands of Adventure over to the new back of the house area at Epic Universe. And what that does is that allows them to knock down buildings that are back of the house operations at those parks and build new attractions. So not only does back of the house help Epic Universe, back of the house actually, this new area actually helps Islands of Adventure and Universal Studios expand their properties and add and offer more attractions so that they don't have to keep destroying things. If you notice at Universal and Islands of Adventure over the past couple of years, they're destroying attractions. They got rid of Jaws in order to put the Wizarding World. They got rid of Shrek and replaced it with Minions. So they're having to destroy existing attractions, some that people really, really love, and replace them with new stuff because they don't have any space to create new stuff. This Epic Universe back of the house allows them to do that. So not only is it going to make Epic Universe stronger, it's going to make the existing park stronger, and again, make the entire Universal experiences, destinations, a week-long, if not more, experience and set them up for tons of future success. So we've also done a lot of progress videos. I'll link to some of those below. You can see progress, a lot of the construction things that are happening. I'm doing new videos on those all the time. I do them every couple of months. I go back and I sort of check the progress, do a little bit of filming, kind of walk around, show you where things are. It's really fun. I'll link to those below, and there'll probably be a new one coming out here in the coming weeks, so be sure to check back. Epic Universe doesn't only affect Universal and the success they're having, it's actually going to affect the entire area. So International Drive and Universal Boulevard there, those two roads are already packed with lots of stuff, but there's going to be even more. It is going to transform that entire area. So there's going to be more restaurants there, more hotels, more fanfare. It's going to continue to build up International Drive, which is already huge unto itself. It's going to make it even bigger and more stuff and bring more attractions and more hotels into that area. So again, it's just going to get huge and again, going to further compete with Disney, which brings me to how does this affect Disney? I love you, Disney, but it's time to add a 5th gate. Disney, we need a fifth gate. We need a new park. These bolted-on experiences like Star Wars Galaxy's Edge, Toy Story Land, Pandora, I love them. They're all amazing, but they're just bolted on. We want a fully immersive new experience, and we need you to bring that to us, Disney, because I'm telling you, Epic Universe is going to totally change. I really think it has Disney shaking in their boots a bit. They are a little bit worried. If you look at the numbers, Universal is gaining on Disney every year from a revenue share perspective. They're actually beating them at the box office right now. It's really going to change things. So I'm excited, Disney. I love you, but time to step it up. So that's all we've got for Epic Universe Update today. There will be lots more of these videos to come. We will be first in line at the parks at Epic Universe the day it opens. So be sure to subscribe in this channel, like, comment below, let us know what we missed. There's probably a lot of things. I do want to give a shout out to Bio Reconstruct. They are doing a great job constantly doing flyovers with drones to get lots of construction pictures. I do my own construction videos and I get my own footage, but I also like to supplement with some of their content because they get that flyover that I'm not able to get. So they're constantly doing that, so I usually throw a few of those into my videos, so a huge shout out to Bio Reconstruct. Check them out on Twitter. They've got lots of information if you really want to know the progress on a day-to-day basis. They're always adding stuff. Again, thank you so much for joining us. Until we see you next time, the noble way is the easy way. Bye-bye, everybody.